Hey guys, what's up and welcome to a new, almost a Tesla, Nvidia update video. So today, as per usual, let's go over Nvidia. Let's talk about what is happening to Nvidia, what we can expect moving forward. Bit of a more, painful slash volatile day in the markets today. So yeah, let's go over it. Let's talk about what's happening to Nvidia and what we can expect moving forward. If you enjoyed, don't forget to hit that like button. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. And of course, if you enjoy my technical analysis, thoughts on the charts, updates, again, I do share my thoughts with my members every single day as the market's open trading. Definitely check that out. I would love to have you there, guys. The link is in the description of every single video. It's at the very top of the description. Click that. You get access to this page where you can join if interested for just $3 a month USD. Gives you access to all my Tesla updates, broader market updates as well, options flow, different time frame analysis as the market's open throughout the trading day, every trading day. $5 USD a month gives you access to the tier 2 session, which includes Nvidia if you're interested in the Nvidia updates. And then $7 USD includes everything else. Private access to our Discord. We have a chat room there. I do chart requests from members every single Sunday. And my tier 3 posts on YouTube where essentially I talk about stocks and show charts setting up that are not Tesla and Nvidia, and not broader market charts, right? So again, if you're interested, we'd love to have you there. A lot of people are actually joining the tier 3 now. I'm getting people are like upgrading. People are joining the tier 3. It's becoming almost the most popular tier now, which is great to see. But yeah, again, love to have you there. Anyways, jumping into it. Nvidia closing the day down 0.7% on the day, right? Not too bad, right? Definitely was a little bit more painful, I think it was afternoon. I think there was a Fed talker speaking, giving some bearish takes on the markets, and the market was dipping, which you can see on Nvidia. Nvidia recovered, about half of it ish, right? Looking pretty decent, but it wouldn't fully shock me if we do get a little bit more pain, right? A little bit more pain, but like I said, for the bigger picture, I still am bullish on Nvidia as long as it's above, ideally 183 to 184, but 181 and a half ish, right? This level right here. As long as Nvidia is above this, I remain bullish, very bullish, actually. Below that, I flip bearish pretty quickly. I will admit this will be like very, very, very concerning because I would view this as an absolutely huge bull trap and a huge liquidity grab. So that's going to be something to watch out for. But until proven or until that shows me signs of that happening, I see no reason to be scared of that, right? It's one of those things where, if you consistently keep thinking this is going to be a massive trap, and it's, oh my God, it has to crash it. It has to lose that. And it has to reverse and it has to, go to 150 or something like that, right? It's going to hurt you more than it helps you, at least in my opinion. It's one of those things where just, with proper risk management, there is absolutely something here, right? For the bulls, at least, again, until proven otherwise. So let's go to the 1 hour time frame, right? I was talking about the 1 hour time frame in this trend line. What do we do? Well, we ended up losing this trend line. Like I mentioned yesterday, I expect this trend line to be lost yesterday or today, essentially. And we lost it today. We opened the market up right underneath the trend line, came back, retested it on the belief. Yeah, that was the first hour. I was actually telling my members about that too. If I go all the way down to the very first update of the day today, it was very, very early, actually. Let me see. I think it was this one here. Yeah. The next couple hours this morning will be important. Nvidia 1 hour is hanging on to the 1 hour 9 EMA still, but is arguably losing the trend line and potentially going for that retest on it right now. But it's very close call. Hence why the next couple hours will be crucial if bulls hang on. But an easier way is to let the 9 EMA, of course, decide as well, which we ended up, of course, losing both of them. And this was just, of course, just a retest from up to down, right? So that's kind of the thing when I was saying with these trend lines, because it's so steep, it's hard to maintain such a steepness in upward momentum. You're eventually going to lose this trend line. It is what it is, right? That's just kind of how things go. It's not a huge deal. But I do expect Nvidia I actually think it'll go one more leg lower, to be completely honest with you. That's my honest opinion. I think we'll go one more leg lower. Best case scenario is we don't, obviously, and we do hold this level. This was my first level I told my members that I'm looking at as the potential kind of support coming in. 186 roughly, which, we went below it, but we're not actually closing 1 hour candles below it. If we start closing 1 hour candles below it, then I do think we'll get a stronger retest of 183 to 184, which is also where that 9 exponential moving average is roughly sitting at right now. But the point I'm trying to make is the fact that once we lost this trend line, what happened? We went downwards, right? It's that simple sometimes, and that's exactly what happened. But again, I want to make it very clear, I am still overall bullish. I do still absolutely lean bullish on Nvidia, no questions asked. Why? Well, MACD is bullish. We broke all-time highs. We're not collapsing back under like we did here, at least not yet. I mean, there's obviously still a chance. I'm not saying there isn't, of course, right? And you never really know. But the point I'm trying to make is the fact that the last time it happened, which was here, it happened pretty quick, right? that's kind of the thing that we're not seeing right now. We're not seeing it happen as quick. In my opinion, if it were to happen, I think it would have already happened, or at the very least, if it's going to happen, it should happen soon. And if it doesn't, I do think the bulls, the longer we hold up here, in my opinion, right, the longer the bulls can maintain above previous all-time highs and essentially really above, let's just say 183 roughly, the better, right? The better it is, right? Because that is just showing further and further validation of this breakout being a legitimate breakout, right? From a bullish perspective. Now, again, obviously, if we lose these levels, if we lose 181, yeah, okay, that's a different story. Then, we adapt, right? That's just how the market is. You adapt based on the circumstances and, information provided to you in that moment, right? That's just how things roll. But until that happens, or if that happens, I have to continue remaining bullish. And, that doesn't mean that we can't still potentially see a little bit more pain, a little bit closer down to the 9 EMA, a little bit closer down to, this 184 to 183 region once again. But that, in my opinion, will be setting up what I would view as roughly a bull flag. For instance, you can take this, go like this, right? Look at this. Look at this beautiful, absolutely perfection. Look at this. Unbelievable. Beautiful. Look at that. Perfect, right? It just, watch Nvidia. This is only 2 candles. Usually these patterns take a bit more candles. So watch Nvidia, slowly fill out the space right here. Watch it slowly fill out and then head higher. Let me show you an example of a stock that I didn't enter. Honestly, I don't even want to look at it because I'm actually pretty upset I missed it. But ASTS, almost the same thing, right? Same kind of idea. Look at this, filled it out absolutely beautifully, came right into those EMAs, lower volume as well, right? Higher volume breakout, lower volume pullback. And then it rocketed, absolute rocket. Something like this for Nvidia, roughly, of course, is, I wouldn't be surprised, right? So just continue monitoring this. I definitely will be. I'll be monitoring it very closely for another position because I already exited my Nvidia, but I'm definitely looking for another entry. Hey, I'll tell you that right now. I'm fiending for another entry. Let's just say that. I'm definitely excited. So let's see how this plays out, guys. Let's see what this actually develops into. But I do expect this to continue being something worth absolutely monitoring. And I do think this will be something, that Nvidia is setting up pretty beautifully here. But again, it's very important that we ideally hold 183 to 184 with that, major red flag being a loss of this low back here from Tuesday. Again, about 181 to 181 and a half. So those are the main levels to watch for on Nvidia moving forward. The weekly looking pretty good too. Weekly closure above all-time highs as well. I don't see anything too concerning, to be completely honest with you. MACD making a higher high now too. So, nothing overly concerning, at least in my opinion, right? Nothing that I would look at here and be scared of, I guess, if that makes sense or something like that. It's, it's maybe a little bit extended from the 9 EMA. So there is that, there is that, I guess you can say. But Nvidia is a stock that once it gets momentum, because it's just so strong, it does kind of stay away a fixed amount. It feels like, look at this, every single time, right? If it was like a fixed amount for a while, like if you were waiting for it to come back to the 9 EMA over here, you would have been waiting for a while, right? Eventually it did, but you also missed a decent amount as well. So it does seem like it's a stock that likes to hover around just, a smidge above that 9 weekly EMA, which is kind of where we are right now. So that's why I wouldn't be surprised if next week is a bit more muted, to be completely honest with you. I do think next week has a higher chance to be more muted with slightly more pain. So sideways to down, right? As we kind of continue filling out this little congestion right here, at least what I think is going to happen. But then I think maybe late next week, into the week after that, that's when I think we pop. And I think Nvidia heads its way to $200 per share, which is still my main target, at least for October, honestly. I think October Nvidia sees 200 as long as it's above this level here. So hopefully that makes sense, guys. Options flow on Nvidia. Kind of boring, to be honest. I'm not really seeing anything, worthwhile. Bulls are definitely dominating, but I'm not really seeing anything too worthwhile. I mean, you have a 3.4 million 170 call for, well, that was for today. So I'm not really seeing anything, to be completely honest with you. It's very, very normal, honestly. It's not really one way or the other. It's kind of mixed, slightly more bullish, but nothing really stands out that is worth mentioning. So it is what it is. But all in all, yeah, I do think Nvidia is setting up something pretty beautifully. And I think that this setup, this pullback back to retesting all-time highs, as long as, again, those key levels holds, is a phenomenal setup setting up here, guys. I'll be honest. It might be one of the better setups. And I'm going to be pretty... I'm going to be watching it pretty closely. Let's just say that, especially considering AMD setting up something similar, right? And again, they usually run together, right? AMD and NVIDIA, they're not perfectly moving together, but it's more or less close enough. Like usually one's running and the other one's probably running as well. Again, not always, but usually, right? And they're both setting up pretty amazingly. Like in AMD setting up a beautifully nice breakout, and it's continuing to set up this arguably like, kind of a rising triangle pattern here, right? Retesting this massive area of resistance as well. 9 EMA's holding. Nvidia's setting up potentially a small little bull flag here, retesting previous all-time highs as well. Like they're both setting up very nice patterns here. Now, obviously things can fall apart. Nothing is guaranteed, of course, but it's hard not to be excited looking at these patterns. I get excited looking at these patterns because I do think they're both setting up something pretty remarkable, to be honest. So again, let's see how it goes, guys. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how they both develop. But yeah, AMD to like 185 potentially even, or 180, 185, not impossible. Nvidia to 200, not impossible. In October, not impossible. So anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on Monday. Peace.